The Pixies? What am I doing reviewing the Pixies? Ranking their albums on the Prog Corner. The Pixies aren't Prog, are they? Greetings, salutations, respect, and love. I am Scott, and I am here to tell you I am a ginormous Pixies fan. I love them oh so much. Yes, I do, man. It's just crazy. My dog just knocked my tripod. She wants to come in and talk about Pixies too. The band was formed in 1984, more or less, when a guy named Charles Michael Kittredge Thompson IV met up with Joey Santiago at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst, and they started jamming and writing songs and whatnot. But they decided they needed a third member of the band, so they put an ad in the local newspaper looking for a bass player who liked Captain Beefheart, Husker Du, and Peter, Paul, and Mary, and they found Kim Deal. She got the gig, and she called her sister Kelly over from Dayton, and she flew out, and she was going to be the drummer, but she wasn't feeling confident enough. So they get a guy named Dave Lovering, who was a friend of Kim Deal's husband. And the band was set, and that was the lineup for a long, long time. The four people in the band had great musical influences, and that's a big reason why I want to talk about Pixies today. Frank Black talks about his love for Captain Beefheart, Husker Du, and Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Thumbs up for that one, buddy. Kim Deal cites XTC and Gang of Four. Dave Lovering is a huge Rush and Steely Dan fan. He's a drummer, of course he appreciates Rush. And Joey Santiago cites David Bowie, the Stooges, and Jimi Hendrix as some of his influences. Absolutely, but it's not even the bands that they were influenced by, but more the bands they influenced, man. Everybody from Radiohead to Nirvana to Weezer, Smashing Pumpkins, The Strokes, Arcade Fire, they all cite Pixies. But of course, it's, Kurt Cobain citing them as the influence for Smells Like Teen Spirit that really got people interested in the band. David Bowie cited them as the greatest band of the 80s. U2, Bono's always talked about their love and respect for the great Pixies. They're not necessarily Prog, but, they, after, they got all that notoriety and whatnot, they broke up. And in those interim, the 12 years that they were silent, the legend of Pixies just kind of grew and grew. Kurt Cobain certainly didn't hurt with that. So they come back like in '09, do some reunion shows and whatnot. In 2013, Kim Deal quits or gets fired. They bring in Simon Ding Archer from The Fall to record the first album without Kim Deal. And then they bring Kim Shattuck from the Muffs and what was the other band she was in? The Pandoras, I think. She only lasted a couple months. I guess she was rocking out too hard, upstaging Frank Black. He wasn't going to have that, so he brought in Paz Lenchantin from A Perfect Circle and Zwan, Billy Corgan's band. She just left or got fired like a month ago, and they are now utilizing Emma Richardson from Band of Skulls on bass. So that's kind of brief history of the band and the people in the band. Few things I'm not going to be looking at. Obviously, best of the Pixies. Not going to be in my ranking. The Pixies tribute album, Where Is My Mind? Yeah, we're not going to rank that. The complete B-sides of the Pixies. Pretty cool. Not going to rank that. Live at the BBC. 1988 to 1991, very cool. Not going to rank that. But there's one little artifact that I think I'm going to rank. Why not? It's the Purple Tapes. We'll get into that in a little bit. But first, so I'm doing 10. They're 8 proper albums. They've got 8 proper albums, and then, the EP that came first and the Purple Tape. So we're going to get into that. But at number 10, I am going with, from 2016, I'm going with Head Carriers. First album with Paz in the band full time. I'm just not in love with this album. I think it is the worst thing they've ever done. All I think about now is a song that Paz wrote for Kim Deal. Chugalaga was a single. It was all right. Talent was okay. Very short album. Clocks in at like 34 minutes. This thing was recorded in London, and I am just not sold, man. I don't love this album. It's the one time I really didn't connect with Pixies, and that kind of hurt my heart a little bit at number 9. The follow-up from 2019, a much, much better album. This is called Beneath the Eerie, produced by the same guy. And the album cover, this is Vaughn Oliver. He had done all their album covers from Come On Pilgrim all the way to this. I guess he passed on, so he's not going to be doing any more Pixies album covers, but this is a much better album than Head Carrier. On Graveyard Hill is just fantastic. 3 songs Paz co-wrote on this album, including that Graveyard Hill, Long Rider, and then she co-wrote Los Surfers Muertos, which she actually sings on. Yeah, there is a bonus disc on this that has some demos. Kind of cool. My favorite song on here is Catfish Kate, but this is definitely an improvement from Head Carrier. I do like it. At number 8, I'm going with their most recent one, Doggerel. Yeah, this is a good album. The best of the last 3, certainly. Produced by Tom Dalgety, who had produced Head Carrier and Beneath the Eyrie. Santiago, Joey gets a couple co-writes on here for the first time. He's been in the band forever, since they were formed, and he gets 2 co-writes on here. Dregs of the Wine and Pagan Man, both are cool songs. I guess the first one he wrote the music, the second one he actually wrote the lyrics because Frank was having a little bit of writer's block or something, I don't know. I've heard that Bobby Bear Jr. from Guided by Voices was involved in the early demoing of some of these songs. He doesn't get any songwriting credit, but if that's true, it certainly indicates, where Pixies are headed right now. There is like a little bit of religious undertones, which Frank always likes to do, songs like You're Such a Sadducee and The Lord Has Come Back Today, Vault of Heaven. All point to Frank's really weird relationship with God and with religion, and I can certainly understand that at number 7. Let's talk about these Purple Tapes. What is this thing, man? Well, the Purple Tapes came out originally in 2002, but all these songs were recorded back in 1987 when Come On Pilgrim was recorded. They actually went ahead and recorded like 17 songs. 8 of them made it on to Come On Pilgrim. This is the other 9 songs, and it includes some songs that Broken Face is on here. Here Comes Your Man, Subculture. In Heaven is a piece that David Lynch wrote for Eraserhead. Really, really short. This thing's like, 15 minutes long or whatever, but it's cool. It's got some great songs on here. This is early Pixies. This is just awesome stuff, and I got it at number 7. At number 6, perhaps the most controversial pick of the day. Well, I got one more that's probably going to be more controversial, but I really like Indie Cindy, man. I think this album is fantastic. You've got Gil Norton, who produced all their great stuff, Bossa Nova and Doolittle and Trump Lamont. He's back for this, so this absolutely sounds like a Pixies album. No Kim Deal on here. You've got Simon Ding Archer from The Fall playing bass on here. This came out as 3 EPs originally, EP1, EP2, EP3, and then they just kind of, resequence them and put them on an album. I really like this album. I hate the album cover. The coloration is just ridiculous, but it does stand out on an album shelf, I guess. But good songs on here, man. Bag Boy, Andro Queen, Greens and Blues, Snakes. When I saw them, they did this entire album. They did every song on this album, and I thought they sounded fantastic. They stood up next to their classics. Absolutely. At number 5, let's go with that first EP we talked about, Come On Pilgrim. The better songs off the Purple Tape, I guess you could say. You've got Caribou on here. You got Vamos, which would show up on their first album, Proper, La Isla Encanta. I guess Frank had gone to Puerto Rico right before this was recorded, and he's bringing a lot of that kind of Puerto Rican experience with the Spanish language singing and stuff. It's ridiculous. I absolutely love it. I guess 4AD did not even want to sign this band, but the dude at 4AD's girlfriend talked him into it. She fell in love with it. She loved it, and she was dead right, man. What would the world be without women making better decisions for their husbands and boyfriends? Absolutely. At number 4, here's the controversial one. It's the Steve Albini produced Surfer Rosa from 1988. The band's first proper album, and this doesn't sound like any other Pixies album. It's the Albini thing for sure. He has a certain way of twiddling those dials, absolutely. But there are some amazing songs on here. I love Bone Machine, Gigantic, obviously the song that Kim Deal wrote and sang. Where Is My Mind is probably the song that most people recognize from Pixies, and it leads off side 2 on this thing. Oh My Golly, a lot of great songs on here, man. Just a really, really cool record. But I like 3 of them better, man. This is a lot of people's favorite Pixies album, and I apologize if it's yours. You know, I just have different taste than you, man. At number 3, I'm going to 1990 and Bossa Nova. Yeah, the band by this time was kind of falling apart. Lovering Santiago and Frank moved to L.A. Kim Deal stayed back in Dayton, Ohio. I guess she finally ended up going there to help with some of the bass tracks. But this is clearly an album that you have a lot of friction in the band. And you know what they say about pressure and heat creating diamonds? Well, absolutely. We got one here. Is She Weird? What a great song, man. Dig for Fire, Valuria, Hang Wire, The Happening. The Happening sounds like a Prog song to me. Absolutely. Bossa Nova, just a dynamite album. A little more straightforward rock maybe than their previous 2. I don't know. I absolutely love it. At number 2, yeah, I'm going with this one right here, and it is called Doolittle, and it's from 1989. This was the album that I discovered Pixies with. I had heard a couple things off of Surfer Rosa. Didn't really get me going, but man, when I heard Wave of Mutilation off of this album, I was hooked. They were my favorite band for like the next 5 or 6 years. I can't get enough Pixies. I still love them. Debaser, Tame, Gouge Away. Come on, man. Monkey Goes to Heaven. Number 13, Baby, Mr. Greaves. Crackety Jones. Every song on here is different. Every song on here is awesome. You got all that surf rock kind of stuff creeping up. But, you know, these guys were a surf rock band at all. They weren't a punk band. They weren't an indie band. They were Pixies, man. They were everything. I love this album so much. I still listen to it regularly. Hard to believe it's not their best album, but I actually have one that I prefer, and it is from 1991, their 4th album, Trompe Le Monde. Oh, yeah, baby. This is the one for me. This is the one that's got my heart. I love every song in this album. To me, a lot of these songs are, you know, tiptoeing around prog rock territory, if you ask me. Planet of Sound, Head On is a fantastic Jesus and the Mary Chain cover. They actually do it even better than Jesus and the Mary Chain. UMass, kind of recalling Frank Black meeting Joey Santiago back in the day. Bird Dream of Olympus Mons. But then it ends with like 2 of the proggiest tracks they ever did. Motorway to Roswell's almost 5 minutes. 5 minutes long is like a prog epic for these guys. Just amazing. And then the final track about the Navajos, just amazing. I love this album. I love Pixies. Are they prog? Well, you know, your mileage may vary. I think they have a very progressive heart. I love them very, very much. One of my favorite bands. If I did a top 10 favorite bands of all time, absolutely Pixies would be in there. And I'm going to be doing a bunch more rankings this week. I just feel like ranking stuff. I've got Muse in my crosshairs next. I think I'm going to do Muse next. Uriah Heep and Mike Oldfield are all coming up. So we're going to be doing a lot of rankings because why not, man? Because I love doing them. Anyway, I'm wearing a Jesus shirt today. Y'all need Jesus. I got a little pushback when I wore my Jesus Christ 2024 shirt the other day. It's funny how you can wear a shirt with nothing but satanic imagery on there. Nobody cares, but you got a shirt that says Jesus on it. People start freaking out. Anyway, I love you guys. Yeah, peace in the Middle East. Free Tibet or free the Ukraine. Free whoever you want to free, man. Just remember to save that king. Save King Chucky. That boy needs your saving. That son of a gun could use some saving right now. That sumbitch, bring him over to America and we can lay some hands on him, do some spells and incantations. Our prayer warriors are working. They're standing by. They're going to do spells. They're going to do incantations. They're going to do prayers. And then they're going to dance with snakes. We're going to dance with them snakes. And King Chucky the Third will be just fine. I'll see you punks tomorrow. Peace.